Happy Friday, everyone. This is Eric Rogers here with Merchant Careers. I'm with Julie Rowe, National Sales Director, and guess what? It's Friday, February 12th, folks. For all the gentlemen out there who think you're the most interesting man in the world, remember Sunday is Valentine's Day. So if you've not gotten at least card, chocolate, flowers, or a combination of something else for your lady, the special lady, make sure you do that. Now, personally, whoever stuck Valentine's Day so close to New Year's and Christmas should be shot. So anyway, just a personal opinion of mine. So heads up for our buddies out there, Steve Gardner, Paul, Gabe Asor. Let me go ahead and move Gabe over here for us. Good to see you here, Gabe. Greg, Henderson, Aaron, all the men out there, Billy Johnson. Guys, Valentine's Day is Sunday. You can thank me later, all right? Now, today is Testimonial Friday. This is where we get a ram in the field, just like you, just like me, just like Julie, just like Gabe. His feet are on the concrete, and he's out there. And this is my favorite day of the week because we get to hear from a ram in the field, what's working in his area. He's got some good stories to tell us. Julie's going to do an introduction for us as well. So without further ado, we've got Wayne's World right on here with us today. I'm going to go ahead and unmute Julie. You've got the floor. Wayne, you are unmuted too. I'm going to mute myself. And
okay. Can you hear me now, Eric?
Yep, you're good, Julie.
Okay,
you're good to go.
Great. So I want to introduce, this is one of my regional account managers, and he's out there, pretty much every day talking to local merchants, and he's just very successful, and he's always excited. He calls me and tells me his stories about how he got statements from, a merchant that he didn't even know. So I just want to introduce him. We've got Wayne Gustin, and he is going to tell us a couple stories about how he's getting statements from, people he doesn't know. And it's really a great story. Wayne, go ahead and introduce yourself and say hi to everyone. But I want to talk about the restaurant story because I love that one first, and then we'll go to a couple other ones.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me on, everyone. And I want to say right up front that I really enjoyed listening to the Friday sessions. I learned a lot from that, and it's a great idea. It's really helped me a lot. At any rate, the first merchant I want to talk about is a restaurant owner who I've known for a while, and he agreed to give me his merchant statements, and we ran a comparison for him. And as I was looking at it, I found a line item in there that was marked equipment, and it was like $1,200, and I said, this didn't make any sense because I had another merchant statement from him also that had no such line item. And so I went back and talked to him. I said, well, you got really good rates. We're better than that, but I have a question for you. I said, I don't understand this line item. And he looked at it and he says, well, I don't understand it either. He said, I have no idea where that came from. So that put things on hold for a while until he went back and talked to his current provider to find out why it was there. Now, this happened apparently was due to when they started up a new restaurant. He's got two of them. The beginning month, the current carrier, they didn't charge any interchange fees, or very little, not nearly enough. And so 3 or 4 months later, he gets this line item charge on his statement, and he didn't know anything about it. So I'm the first one that found it and brought it to his attention. So he's still currently trying to find out, because now he owes money to them because they didn't charge him enough, and now he's still trying to find out when they're going to settle the rest of it. And that's what I'm waiting for until next week to go back to him and find out what's going on. He's changed twice recently, and he told me that emotionally he's just kind of worn out doing this. And I said, well, you take your time. You let me know when to come back, when you want to talk about it again. He says, well, after Valentine's Day. So I'm going back and see him next week. I'm very hopeful.
Wayne, the line item was hidden actually. They actually put the charges under equipment. So they were they never told him that they had made a mistake. They just tried to sneak it by him. That was, how do you trust a processor that makes a mistake and then tries to hide it on a statement?
Yeah, I mean, it just, I'm trying not to badmouth them. I'm just saying, I'm just going to go back and ask them the question. I said, we're better. We have a better price. You'll find that our systems are easier to use. As I was watching him pull merchant statements off of the system that he had, it was like, how'd you ever find that in there? It was like crazy. And so I know we have much more user-friendly online systems for merchants to use, and that's another added value. I said, it's not always the price. It's who do you trust? Who makes your life easier in many other ways? Yes, price is an issue, and that's the first thing that gets their attention. But it's the other intangible things that Card Connect can bring to the table that I think are very valuable. And the A+ rating, the Better Business, that speaks volumes about how our merchants feel about us. And I don't know how much attention people pay to that, but I pay a lot of attention to that. And so those incremental things, we just have to keep reminding them. And then, I'm going to go back next week and then say, look, are you ready to quit worrying about this now? Because we're going to take all those worries away from you, and it will run like clockwork. You will get your deposits done every 24 hours during your business week. And he also shared with me that there were times it was like 48 hours before he got his deposits in. He had to call them up. The previous merchant services before the last one, he had a 20 or 3-week stretch where he got no deposits made in his account. And he said, fortunately, there was enough money in there that nothing got overdrawn, but that was one of the reasons, too, that other than the hidden charges that he got that he didn't know about that kept coming, and that forced him to change to the current provider. So this one I hope will go well because he has a couple of restaurants that are doing very well. I gave him a reference to another colleague of his in our city here who is well known, has 3 or more outlets, and we have them as clients as well. So I said, just call them. And I said, do you know those folks? And he says, oh yeah. I said, just call them and see how happy they are at Card Connect. So I'm prepared to go back in next week and I hope close this deal because he really needs to get away from these people.
And Wayne, I wanted to get a couple more stories about what you're doing. Wayne's had some success, but we'll end with that one. I want you to talk about the furniture store that you just went to. I think you went there yesterday, and they didn't know you. And just tell the story about how you walk in and how you end up, basically getting a great contact and end up getting statements from these merchants.
Yeah, it was a cool little home interiors boutique shop, and I walked in, and there were 2 ladies there, and they said, "Hi, how are you?" And I said, "Hi." I said, "Great little shop. I was just in this neighborhood, and I've got a little time to kill. I thought I'd come in and take a look and see what you got. I'm kind of looking. They asked me what I was looking for, and I said, my daughter's just bought a new house. They're completely redoing it. They're going to need some things, and it's going to be Mediterranean style." I said, "What do you got?" And she says, "Oh, we have stuff for that." And she says, and we also have a truckload of things coming in next week." And I said, "Well, give me your business card and so on, and I'll pass this along." And she's looking for this particular kind of a table and so on and so on. And you got this conversation going, and that's true. Not making up a thing. And I said, I'd like to also introduce myself. I'm in between appointments here, but I do merchant services. This is my card. We're one of the top 20 companies in the country. We're a Tier 1 company. We can tell you about that and how important that is. I'd like to come back next week and spend a few minutes with you and see where you are with your merchant services. And she says, "Yeah, I'm always willing to look. I'd be glad to talk to you. And I've gotten this response more than once with that kind of an approach. I just talked to a jeweler yesterday who was fed up with Wells Fargo and had just recently moved away from Chase, but still incurring the same kinds of undisclosed costs that weren't made apparent to him when he signed up. So I've got an appointment to go back and see him next week, along with 2 or 3 others in that little complex that I walked in. One is a Square customer, and it's an aromatherapy shop, and I know a lot about that, so I was talking to the guy in there about that, and the owner wasn't there, but I'll go back and talk to her next week as well, because I know I can get her some more business. But she's doing pretty well. So I'm confident that one is one we can pick up as well, along with a chiropractic office that's using the Square, and I think that's going to be a slam dunk as well.
That's awesome.
Anyway, this is happening. Julie, it took me a while to get to that point. And I got to tell everybody out there that it wasn't easy to get started. I mean, there was a bit of a learning curve, but with the sessions, the online sessions and everything that you guys are doing, this is really good. Thank you.
Wow, thanks. We appreciate that. And I want to go to, we worked on an account, and I want everyone to know that, we are here for everyone. And Wayne is actually getting a contract signed, and this was a company that I'm not sure how many times you went back, Wayne. Was it the 5th or 6th
times?
Yes,
yeah.
5 or 6 times. And we needed an equipment solution, so we got Card Connect on the phone, actually spoke to the merchant, resolved the questions that she had, and they're actually going to sign up. It's a great merchant, great story. And I think the most important as far as Wayne getting this contract is she told him as long as that we take care of her, she's going to refer him to the 3 other. It's a chain, a franchise. So she's going to give him a recommendation and contact the 300 other stores. So
yeah, there's 300 other franchises nationwide. So they have an intranet, and she can share that information to everyone on the intranet. And she also promised, she says, I know a lot of business owners that come into this postal service business, and she says, I'll be happy to refer them to you too.
So that being said, Wayne did almost all of the work, but when he needed us, I got on the phone with the merchant. I spoke to her, I answered her questions, and then when I needed, to get some more advice from Card Connect, we've got a lady named Katie. She jumped on, and she took care of the lady's questions, and she's filling out her application. She's coming on board, and, you guys need to know that. You need to utilize us so we can assist, when you get to that point where, they want to speak to somebody. Give us a call. We'll set an appointment. If they need to talk to Card Connect, we can set an appointment, and get on the conference call and help you guys close those deals.
Yeah, this was a very complicated technical issue that came up with her. So this was not something I was going to be able to solve on my own at all. And, what can I say? I mean, the teamwork was awesome.
Great. Well, we got some comments coming in. I don't know if anybody wants to ask Wayne questions. He's here. We've still got, 15 minutes. So if you guys want to ask questions to Wayne, he'd be happy to answer them. Wayne, I want to read what John Taylor said, and I know that you listened to him and he helped you. He said, Wayne is my hero. Never once did we hear about what's in it for Wayne. He's all great about service and helping his local merchants. Great. Thank you, John. That was a really nice compliment.
Yeah, thank you, John. And that, like I said, you couldn't have said it any better. If you get, Napoleon Hill once said, if you get someone else what they need, what you need will follow right in behind it. And again, that wasn't an exact quote. That was just the best I could do but that's exactly what I think John Taylor is mentioning. Suze would like to know who that bad company was that was sticking some fees under equipment. If you could go ahead and again, this is a training for regional account managers only and sales associates, working here at First Direct Financial. Do you want to do you feel okay to share that with us?
Well, the merchant services guy was, they didn't do anything wrong necessarily, except they didn't catch it. And they were, I think their company is MyCamp, but there was a processor that dropped the ball in the original month and didn't. I think that was First Data that did that. And I've dealt with First Data in my past life a few times as well. They do some processing in another industry I was in, but it's not that uncommon for them. But they're out there, and I try just to focus on, well, are you ready to move to a place where you don't have to deal with this? And we promise that that's what you'll have. And by the way, we're going to give them a contract with zero early termination fee just to underline the fact that we are so confident that we will keep you happy. We're not worried about you terminating this contract. We don't have to have that in there. So that's another thing that's kind of been a roadblock for some merchants. So, I got this early termination fee. And well, if you come with us, I'll try to make it sure that you don't have that. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I feel it's just kind of for me out in the field, it's another arrow in the quiver that I can use when it comes down to it to move beyond the objections that some of these merchants have.
Yeah, that's awesome. And again, that's another good point with the, able to use drops. And I know Gabe's a big proponent with not, dropping your drawers on square one, when you're with the client just to get the proposal. You've got, these items, these bullets. So, in your sales pitch that you could use later. No cancellation fee. Obviously, a cancellation termination fee would be good for you as a RAM in the field. But again, this is going back to what Wayne is saying, what John Taylor is saying, what most people say. Hey, listen, we can get rid of that. That seems like it's a sore point. And you can go through and we can make sure that is removed by contacting your national sales director when they're putting in those numbers. Let's get rid of that. So when you're sending the get it signed application, it's gone. The termination fee shows as zero. So it's not just lip service. They're going to see it, and that's an outstanding point. And Claudia had mentioned too, Miss Bailey, that she was surprised that a franchise is able to get their decision done that way. Maybe expand on that, because some franchises, Claudia, they do not have an option. Some do.
Right. And there's one yesterday I talked to as a florist, and she says, I'm locked into Teleflora, and I can't do anything. I mean, the merchant service is locked into the nationwide distribution system for florists, and they're not letting anyone else in. I think that's something that might be worth a long-term look at in terms of contacting Teleflora and pitching them with a Card Connect and First Direct to go in and say, look, we know out in the field that your florists are not happy with your merchant charges. And I've talked to some who are almost ready to quit altogether because of that. I don't know. That's just a strategy down the road. I don't know if we want to kick that thing around or not. But
I've actually come across that too, where a lot of the individual flower shops are, you're right, getting rid of that. They're just not even worrying about it, or they'll have it, and they're the last one in the area that does. Because of the fees. The fees that are being charged are not fair at all. And some of the merchants are getting a little creative, but again, that's something that's up to the individual merchant, but yeah, Wayne, there's that one little hurdle where they don't want them using any other processing uh, other than their own, if they're going to be a part of that. And again, it's Valentine's Day. That's kind of interesting you brought that up, so that's pretty cool. So,
the other thing, on that too, was that when I walked in the door and gave her my card, she says, I get 4 calls a day or more from merchant services companies, but no one walks in. And she says, I
that's
really
the other thing. That's the other thing, Wayne. You're the local guy. These people are buying you as much as Card Connect, as much as the $1,000 guarantee, and looking at the rates and saving money. Wayne, you are the guy.
Well, they appreciate seeing a real live person come in the door, and this is the first one actually came right out and told me so right to my face, and I kind of sense it with other people, but she was right up front with it. So that's good to hear.
And that's outstanding.
So that should encourage everyone. I think people, when you go in once and you talk to them just casually, then I'll go back the next week and talk to them again, and then I'll go back to them again the next week, because they get a lot of people come in once and leave and never come back.
Mm-hmm.
But they're more willing to talk to you, or usually, not always, but they're more willing to talk. And then I ask them, when during the day is the best time for me to come back? What's your slow time? And then I try to get back to them at that time, so I'm not interfering with customer service at their counter. And I'm getting in a time when they can actually slow down and think a little bit. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense, yeah. I've been told, and sometimes you're working weird hours, either on the phone or in person, but that's just identifying and using a little common sense and common sense is a flower that doesn't grow in everyone's garden. We get that. But this is something that Wayne is using.
I have an estate sale lady that I talked to yesterday. She called me on the phone as I was out working, and she says, I've got some time right now. Can you meet with me? And I said, sure. How soon? I said, well, about half an hour. So I drove up to this Barnes & Noble store, and we had a cup of tea and talked for like an hour about her business. But she's going to come on board. She's really a neat gal.
Yeah, that was a good story too. I just wanted to tell you what Claudia had to say. She wants to congratulate you, Wayne. You sound very sincere, and I'm sure the merchants feel that from you. So that was a compliment from Claudia. Thank you, Claudia. That was very sweet. Does anybody else have anything to ask Wayne? Because we got a couple of minutes, and not a lot of questions coming in. I guess they're just happy to hear you talk, Wayne.
Well, I really love this business. It was kind of I didn't know for sure when I started, but the more I do it, the more I like it, the more comfortable I get with it. But it takes a while, so hang in there.
Yeah, don't give up, and come to the Testimonial Fridays. We do this Monday through Friday. We cover all topics. So if you need to go over the CRM, you're going to want to do that on Tuesday. And if you want to know more about the equipment, you want to attend Wednesday. We did, I thought about having Wayne on Thursday because I was approaching prospective merchants and overcoming objections because he's so good at that. But I wanted to have him on Testimonial Friday because a lot of people listen to that one, and I wanted everyone that is out there in the field, just to hear him, and so they can, basically emulate what he's doing. He goes in and talks to these merchants, asks them about their business, and he doesn't bring up the fact that he's what he's doing until pretty much the end, so they feel real comfortable with him, and he is sincere, and they do feel that. So he builds that relationship with them, and it's awesome. He's going to be very successful.
Well, I made the mistake of not doing that a couple of times, and I thought, oh boy, that isn't working. So Anyway, this seems to be working.
Yep, and Marilyn says that she really appreciates hearing from you today too, Wayne. She loves the stories and they are helpful to her, so she thanks you as well.
Well, thanks, guys. We need to all be successful with this.
Okay. Eric, you got anything else? I think we're close to...
No, that was it. We actually had the big man in here today. Jeff was listening in with us as well, and we've got some new hires over here to help us be more responsive for you, because here at Merchant Careers, we know we're the premier merchant trainer, coach. What we do over here is a little more than just try to help you with your paperwork and try to get it in. That's our whole thing.
Yeah.
So we're here to make you successful if it's possible, but no one's going to turn those wheels other than you. And residual income, guys, I know we haven't talked about this, but this is the main driver. Once those businesses are on board, our model is different. You're getting paid full commission regardless of your monthly production. And it really is as simple as sincerely helping these merchants and owning your backyard. Most of you do not even need to change your normal routine, and things like that with this. And I think that's what Wayne is making clear. It's like, we're going to help you. We're very transparent. And this is something that you'll see. And actually, Card Connect's one of the top 5 merchant processors right now. And the reason it's running up to the head of the class is because it's being transparent, and 24-hour customer service is a rarity. Guys, it's more than just the rate, too. If we're beating the rate even by a little bit, why would they not switch?
Exactly, exactly. John Taylor wanted to thank you again, Wayne, for sharing with us and taking your time to do this, because we really appreciate it. Appreciate you, and it's just very important that other people out there that are in the same shoes hear the success that you're having and your approach. So everyone's basically thanking you. We've got thank you from Billy, and we got a thank you from Ann. Thank you again. Really, really helpful stuff, Wayne. I'd like to have you on again maybe in the near future when we get some success stories from you.
Anytime, you guys. Glad to share that, and if it can help anyone else, I'm just tickled to death.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to wrap up the recording. Guys, this will get posted on your training workshop under your live presentations, your live webinars. There is a recording, and this will get posted here today as well. So I'm going to configure and wrap this up right now. Thank you again, Wayne. Thank you, Julie, Gabe, and everybody that's in attendance today. And, like I said, have a safe weekend. Fellas, remember it's Valentine's weekend, Sunday. Remember that. President's Day is Monday. We will be here in full force. Okay, so we're not. It's we're going to be working. So we'll see you Monday, guys. We're going to have presentations. Still have the webinar, and your national sales directors are here for any questions. So have a safe weekend. If you're getting a 3-day, God bless you, and we'll see you Monday, though. Thank you very much.